right, ladies and gentlemen, my apologies for that. We had a little bit of technical issues, but we are back and ready to rock and roll. Starting on your pole position, we got the number 9, Mike Kufel, followed by Sean Happy on his outside in row number 2. On his outside in the second place spot. In row number 2, we've got the number 7 of Bryce Tucker with Bobby Grady on his outside. Row number 3, we've got Travis George and Patrick Camburn, followed by Eugene Honk and Dustin Bloodworth. KT McCann and David Meacham are going to be scored in the 5th row, with Matthew Chase and Kyle Rogers in the 6th row. We've got the number 86 of Jason Arbel and number 9, which I believe actually is the 20 of Andy Berry. Chris Reiniger, Randy Cornwell rounding out the 8th row, followed by Ken Cook and Thomas Long, Andre Carvalho and Zachary Tyler, and row number 10, followed by Sean Wilder and Trey Young. And then 23rd, we've got Keane Fry, and 24th, we've got Ryan Wood. Josh Parker and Brandon Dayhoff behind them. Aaron Creighton and Samuel Moser, followed by Ryan Seabolt, Greg Moss, and in your final row of the night, we've got Ed Nava and Daniel Quinn. Race info before we go. Green flag racing 60 laps tonight. Stages are going to be at 15 and 30, and these drivers will be awarded with 3 sets of tires should they need them. Also, we'll have 3 green light checkers should we need to use them. But we do see the pace car off the field. The number 9 of Mike Kufel going to be starting this race off once they take the green flag. And the green flag is in the air. First lap here of the High Velocity Racing League Truck Series playoffs. Brought to you by Growmasters here. We got Mike Kufel, Bryce Tucker, and Travis George, and Eugene Hawk, 4 trucks in a row, making a very solid run here on the bottom line. Sean up there on an island right now with no help on the top. We've got Bobby Grady and Patrick Camburn looking to try to get some momentum started. But so far, it looks like that bottom line is the place to be. A couple guys here on the apron maybe looking to just bow out and make sure they can be there at the end. Mike Kufel being pushed hard by Bryce Tucker and Travis George. Top line starting to gain some momentum now. Mike Kufel leads your first lap here in the High Velocity Racing League playoffs. Top line now starting to form. Bobby Grady on the rear bumper of Sean Happick. Patrick Camburn in tow as well. Looking to see if they can't get something going here. Top line now starting to form. I would imagine the 7 of Bryce Tucker's temps are probably getting a little bit hot. He's been on the bumper of Mike since the restart, and there we go. Looks like Sean's going to try to take point here, make his way towards the bottom line, lead these trucks around Talladega. And he is able to do just that as of right now. See a couple cars back there off the pack already. Oh, we see another aggressive move there. I believe that's the 22 of Randy Cornwell diving back down to the bottom line. We all know how these plate races go here. Getting a little squirrely there on the bottom. Everybody holds it together though. You see a lot of these pink banners as well. I want to mention that to that drive or to you guys that are watching here. Those pink banners do signify that these drivers are playoff drivers. Well, we are doing a chase this season, not doing the playoffs, but nonetheless, those pink banners will indicate the drivers that are in the chase. Maybe a driver or two that is in the chase that does not have their playoff banners on, but nonetheless, again, pink banner signifies that they are in. And as I'm yapping away, we're now 3 wide. It looks like Sean Happick went up towards the top lane. But Sean, they're still holding the point on the top lane now. Mike Hufel holding strong. And one thing I'd really like to see these drivers do, if they can stay organized enough, is, again, managing the temperatures in their trucks. What that looks like would be, take Mike Hufel or even Sean Happick, for an example. Those are the 2 trucks at the point of the field right now. If one of those 2 drivers gets clear of the other, I'd like to see them shuffle back and forth, and not so much just to take control of the race, but allow the guys behind you to help keep their temperatures low and generate a run. We get to a point in these plate races when we're side by side like this that everybody gets hot and it's very hard to generate a run. So what you'll see sometimes is guys coming from 7, 8, 9 rows back are able to make their way towards the front because they're cooling in the back of the field. They have low engine temperatures and they can just push their way till they get there. So if these drivers can do a good job of maintaining their position but also jockeying and keeping temps in the engines cool, we will be in a lot better position, and some of these guys might be able to generate some runs. But so far, everybody keeping it clean. Looks like number 88, Daniel Quinn, may have started from the pits or is off pace. These drivers going to be 3 wide coming into turn 3 here. Definitely carry some speed here on the top lane, but you see how much time you lose in the corner. But if you guys are hooked up, you can really gain a lot on exit. Eugene Hawk, though, looking to make a move on the outside. That's going to stall the bottom here just a little bit. So those drivers get disconnected. One thing I'm sure we'll see too later on as this race progresses is the use of the side draft. It's so effective here in the trucks. Maybe not as much as the Cup cars like we saw a few weeks ago in our Cup series, but nonetheless, side draft very important here to help generate those movements. And it looks like Eugene Hawk may be clear. Yeah, Sean Happick says, no, sir, you're not coming back up. He's going to maintain control of that top lane. Eugene hops down. Still a net gain for Eugene. We see the number 29 is Zachary Tyler making a move. Number 9, which I believe is technically the 20, into the outside wall. That's Andy Berry, able to keep it straight, so we will continue to be green flag racing. Being that this is our entry-level series, these drivers also will be getting a fast repair for tonight, as per every race. And again, here we see it. The top line just really starting to fall off because we have the same guys pushing. Bottom line able to carry momentum because Mike's been leading the point. He can really push that 40 and propel them forward. Go David Meacham now going to hop up on that top line. For those of you that maybe aren't the most familiar with super speedway racing, I know this might look easy, just holding the gas pedal down and turning left, but we'll get you on board here with, let's see, the number 4 of Dustin Bloodworth and go to his cockpit view. Now, of course, some of these drivers have access to more field of view with their setup choice in real life, but you can just see, imagine driving on the interstate, being in stop and go traffic, but doing that at 190 mile an hour. And this is what it looks like. You see Patrick Camber, he's really tight on Sean Happick. You can just barely make out the car in front of him. So it's really hard to see at times what's going on. So you really have to rely on your teammates or just the other drivers around you to really let you know what's going on. And there you go. You see Camburn's just trying to follow Sean and actually gets into the outside wall. It doesn't slow him down too much, but nonetheless, there's a lot more that goes into the super speedway races than a lot of people think. And we're seeing it here just even on the backstretch. But this time by, we will be coming to lap 10. That'll leave us with just 5 laps to go in stage number 1. Again, it is playoff time here, so these drivers are going to be going for every point that they can get. And there we go. We see a power move there from the 9 and the 16 making their move to the top. That's really going to stall the bottom line now. Eugene Hawk losing 2 trucks behind him. So that bottom line is going to continue to fall. And there we go. Looks like Mike and Travis are going to do just that. Try to regain control of that bottom line. You know, Mike is a guy that is a lot like me when it comes to these super speedway races, and he just loves doing them. He's gained a lot of experience, but we'll see if that experience will pay off in the long run. I know knowing Mike to be a guy who's not afraid of making an aggressive move, and sometimes we've seen it bite him. We'll see if that'll play factor here tonight. Excuse me. It was very country because I didn't know what I was going to say there. Yeah, I see a couple guys wiggling around, just trying to make those pushes square, and seeing a couple guys being aggressive on the pushes. A lot of guys just right now, it looks like they might be a little bit timid, just trying to make sure they get there at the end. We see some movement in the back now around Kendon Cook. Sean Wilder now looking to go up through the middle. Yeah, a couple guys looking for the middle. A lot of guys having the same idea. They're running out of space. The 29, the 86, and the 4. Dustin Bloodworth almost goes around. Another one hard into the outside wall. Contact maybe down the bottom. We saw it there. Dustin Bloodworth. I was just talking about it. Everybody looking to make their moves as we come towards the end of the stage. And everybody was trying to look for the middle, and that gap closed up. We'll see what exactly transpired. We kind of lost it in the smoke, but we see it here. Dustin Bloodworth. I believe that's the 86 of Justin Arbel and Zachary Tyler, just all going for the same real estate and just really nowhere to go for these guys. You can see it. I mean, Tyler's trying to move up just a little bit. They get off of him. The 86 moves up as well. That hooks the 29 and the 86. 86 gets into the left rear of Dustin Bloodworth, who gets into the outside wall, and you can see the air starting to come up underneath him already. Barely manages to stay around. Dustin Bloodworth doing his best Ryan Preece impersonation here on the backstretch, but I believe everybody from here was able to skate on by. It looks like the number 8, yeah, we saw Moser go hard into the outside wall, so that was that truck. Close call here. Ed Nava in the 25. Ryan Seabolt in the 00 able to squeeze by as well.
Don't use your fast repair.
Sorry, seems like you were talking about a strategy there. I just wanted to check and see and get. Hadn't got any fuel numbers from you tonight. So is this caution going to help you guys make the fuel window, or were you guys already pretty much good?
I think we're at like 19. I vaguely looked, so I still have 7. So, yeah, and I think it's 15 and 30. So fuel really shouldn't be an issue for the stages. Life goes naturally, of course.
Gotcha. Well, I was talking about it there at the top of the broadcast. You know, he's starting P2. Looks like you got a good qualifying effort there, and you just kind of lost some help there on the first restart. But you guys were able to get your way back towards the front. It looks like we've got Mike Ruffell and Travis Shores, teammates, making some really good moves up front. What's it going to take for you to try to get the lead here on the stage?
Oh yeah, man. They work well together. I ran a couple races with Mike last night, and he's a real good pusher, man. But heck, I'm going for Mike. I cut off Bobby's run a little bit too much. I was hoping he'd hit me square, but I think he was going a little bit too quick. So, and he got me up front, so I got to return the favor if I see Grady back up here. So, but Mike and them are running strong, man. It's going to be hard to. You of all people know what it's like to have good teammates that are really linked up. So.
Yeah, and I mean, teammate there, Dustin Bloodworth, caught up in that last accident, and Andre Carvalho, he's quite a few rows back, so hopefully your teammates can get back up to you and try to get you some help, man. But I'll let you get back to it. I know you guys were talking a little bit of strategy. Good luck to you here. Looks like we might have a green-white checkered for the stage, so again, good luck.
Yes, sir.
We got a lot of pink banners up front. We'll see if they all are there at the end of the race.
All right, appreciate it, man.
There you go. I wanted to grab Sean on board. He usually is our intel guy, lets us know what's going on with the fuel and such. So I wanted to make sure I got him up early. So yeah, it looks like fuel not going to be much of a factor here for the stages. But yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, Sean has got not a lot of help up there, but we'll see if that'll change here. A lot of things can happen. You see the lights off on the pace car. Mike Kufel going to get a control car. Elects to choose the top lane. What you'll probably see from him is get a really good restart here and then drop down in front of his teammate, the number 16, and Travis George, and try to control that bottom line. But one thing that could hold troublesome for them is Mike does have to wait till he crosses the start-finish line, and David Meacham being behind him might get a great start as well. So if that bottom line can get some momentum and stay hooked up, they might be able to take advantage of this with some side draft as well. But the pace car is off on pit road. Not exactly sure what race control is doing here with the stages. I know our stage was at lap 15 and this would bring us to 15 here, so I don't know if we'll extend this to a green-white checkered or if we'll do it at the end of this lap, but we'll see it. Mike with a great start out front. And there we go, there it is. Travis George going to have to lift a little bit to let him in. That's going to check up that bottom line ever so slightly, but not a lot of help up there on the top. Kenan Cook far off of Bryce Tucker and David Meacham. So we'll see if Sean Happick might make a move here, or Eugene if they can get clear of that top line. If Eugene and Sean can get hooked up and go top, that might help them a lot. We see Eugene make the move, but Sean elects to stay on the bottom row. Again, I apologize that I don't have insight, but this might be the white flag for the stage. So everybody going to be fighting for what they can get. Eugene Hawk gets a little loose on the entry of 3 with a push from David Meacham. Guys moving around, but we see it. Travis George and Mike. Oh, Mike gets blocked in front of the field. Sean Happick caught up, and that's definitely going to be a caution. Mention it right there. Just said it before this stage happened, and that's a lot of trucks involved there. People still piling into the wreck 20 seconds after the fact. We will go back with the number 9 of Mike Kufel. We talked about it. Make some aggressive moves here at these super speedways, and we've seen it many a time not pay off for him. See what happens here. Let's actually hop on board with Travis George. Everything looks fine right here. These trucks, when they get off the corner, the suspension unloads and they can get a little loose, and you see it there. Travis actually kind of goes a little bit more left while he's on the bumper, and you can see that's what gets Mike squarely. And with all the momentum lost from getting loose, Travis George just keeps his foot in it. And that sends his teammate around in front of the field. Sean Happick almost squeezes on by. See Travis George flying through. Let's rewind this just a little bit here. nowhere to go for Sean. Almost clears. He gets a bad push. Not a bad push, but gets a push from Eugene, and then Patrick comes along as well. So not a whole lot of damage. Aaron Creighton comes plowing in, as does the 89. I mean, we definitely got to be checking up a little bit more than that when we see literally the whole entire field wrecking. But based on how we're scored, it looks like David Meacham, Bryce Tucker, and Kenan Cook may be your top 3 for that stage. So some playoff implications here for some of these drivers after the big one happens at the end of stage 1. Looks like Sean wanting to hold on to that fast repair. He's going to get as much of this damage repaired as he possibly can. Should be able to get most of it fixed. But let's see if we can grab our potential stage winner.
Yeah, hey, gotcha.
Hey, David, this is Bryce up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, big wreck there at the end of stage number 1. Based off what I showed, I believe you may have been the winner there in stage 1. I'll have to confirm with race control, who's not here at the moment. But nonetheless, man, talk to us. I mean, how does it feel to get your way all the way up there? You were up about 10 or so spots at the end of that stage. So I know you got the season opener here at Daytona, which was another super speedway. And so far, you're looking good at Dega.
Yeah, thank you. I guess I'm turning into a super speedway guy like you, huh?
Yeah, it just might be all that, all those Malik race streams that you're that we watch. I think it's starting to pay off here a little bit.
You're just hoping. No, it's side drafting is tight and pushes are pretty hard right now. So I'm excited to get to the end of this. Stage points are super important right now for playoffs, so I'm just trying to get as much as I can.
Actually, yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned it. You know, we get towards the end of these stages, and presumably once we do end up getting to the end of the race, the patience is going to be at an all-time low, and people aren't going to lift. The pushes are going to get bigger. The side drafts are going to be stronger. So what is your plan to try to just be there at the end? It looks like you've made your way towards the front. Is that where you want to try to be, or do you plan on laying off at any point? Or talk to us kind of about what you're thinking here.
Honestly, I'm trying to get 20 stage points and then just fall to the back after second stage, survive. Hope I don't need my fast repair until the end or not at all.
Gotcha. Yeah, sounds like a good plan, man. Well, congrats on what I believe, again, was a potential stage win. I'll have to confirm that with the race control, but I'll get you back down to your team. Good luck here in stage number 2.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. There you go. Again, potential stage winner there. Oh, apparently you're still here. Good thing I didn't say anything bad about you. Totally kidding. Dustin Bloodworth, I mean, a little bit of misfortune there, but he gets involved in that first wreck and gets his damage repaired, and now he's on the front row. So maybe a little bit of a blessing in disguise for him. I mean, he doesn't get any stage points there, but able to get towards the front. Gets him on the front row. Lights back on. Looks like Sean able to get all the damage repaired. Looks like he's coming into 3 now. And we see 52 coming through the tri-oval now, and these guys off of turn 2. So he should be able to get back to the field. So good to see that. I believe he holds on to that fast repair. Sean up to the field now, so yeah, definitely able to make it there. We see a couple cars scored a lap down. The 88 of Daniel Quinn, number 89 of Greg Moss, 81 of Josh Parker. It looks like they are all scored a lap down. Dustin Bloodworth and Brad Dewar on the front row. Matthew Chase makes his way in the second row. 86 of Jason Arbel as well. Pace car coming off here once again for our second start of the race. Third start, excuse me. Second restart. You can see all those drivers that have came back in their second time around. That inside line super long. Green flag back in the air here at Talladega. Brad Dewar gets a great launch, but that's not going to help him too much. See a couple of these guys in the back of the pack, they're going to have to really try to fight to stay in with the draft. Need these guys to start side drafting up front and get a little racy, but nonetheless, that outside line's coming. Matthew Chase, Dustin Bloodworth pushing hard. That bottom line's going to check up a little bit with the speed difference to Brad Dewar. KT McCann, that third row on the inside as well. He's really good at these super speedways. We got his teammate just a few positions behind him. KT able to make his way towards the front in these super speedway races and make sure he has a dog in the fight, so we'll see if he can hold on to that here. 86 may have had a penalty, or the bottom line just gets shaken up there, it looks like. So a couple cars jockeying around. We'll see a few guys here on the bottom. You stay green, try to find out what happens here. Everybody's checking up because they see wreck, or Eugene checks up as he sees a wreck behind him, and number 89 doesn't see it and plows into him. But while all that happened, Matthew Chase gets to the race lead. Followed by David Meacham. You see these guys now, single file. Yeah, Sean Happig here out on an island by himself. So he's going to need a caution to get back into this stage. Two teammates, Matthew Chase, Samuel Moser, pushing hard up front. The 53 of Chris Weininger sneaks up there quietly into third place. Again, Dustin Bloodworth with that recovery. Brad Dewar. And at the top five, two teammates, KT McCann, Brady Cornwell, just behind them as well. Kenny Cook might be jumping out of line. Got a couple guys up top, a couple guys at the back of the field looking to make their way back up. It looks like Travis George is going to be leading that ship, and there we go. Top line starting to form. KT McCann, Randy Cornwell again, teammates looking to work together. You see Mike Kufel, Travis George, as well as Patrick Camburn as well, trying to hold on to the tail end of that line and get back up towards the front. But right now, David Meacham and Matthew Chase doing a great job of controlling this one here. Shout out everybody watching at home, cheering on your favorite drivers and family members and friends. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Here we go. Racing is starting to pick up. Yeah, looks like one truck is going to get pushed out to 27. Contact. 27 hard into the outside wall. We stay green. Looks like KT McCann involved in that one as well. We saw the 27 get split. The car in front of him, clears down, and 27 just trying to force his way in line. Looks like he may have gotten a little bump, and that's what sends him into KT. So this front pack getting separated here just a little bit. We're going to have to try to work together. The trucks, though, they should be able to get back into that draft. If it's the next-gen car, they might be gone, but the trucks give you a little bit more grace with the draft. Lap car making a very, very, very egregious move. Daniel Quinton trying to stay with the pack, and those are moves that you just don't make. And there we go. We see what's happening now. Big trouble. I mean, I get trying to stay on the draft, but I would imagine there's probably a good 20-mile-an-hour difference. Let's just take a look here and see really quick. Yeah, it doesn't show, but I mean, you can see the fire and the flames coming out of the pipes from KT. Huge block, just gets everything checked up. And Travis George trying to go wide, or 3 wide, and split the gap. Just makes contact. Did hear an engine blow. I don't know if that was the 88. Oh, definitely. I don't say these things to try to, put drivers down or anything, but that's a move if you're the 88. You cannot make. You got to be a little bit more self-aware here and understand the difference in speed between the guys in the pack and you running as a solo truck and, to self-clear like that in front of the field. I mean, luckily that wasn't, more dangerous for more trucks, but you see how it ends for the 88. That might be his night ruined. But it looks like everybody elected to make their way down pit road. Okay, so it looks like both of our stages cut short. So that's going to put Matthew Chase, the winner here in stage number 2. Let's see if we can try to tap into his radio.
I'm not going to be able to. It's going to be David this time.
Yeah, well, he didn't hear what you just said because this is Bryce up here in the booth and I dragged you up on in here.
Well, thank you, Bryce.
Hey, not a problem at all. So far, it looks like a pretty good team effort from you guys. I mean, David, I believe, comes away with stage 1, and here you are coming away with it in stage number 2. Playoff time, everybody's looking to get as many points as they can. Talk to us about your race so far.
Yeah, stage 1 got caught up in that first caution. Not too bad. I had a little bit of damage, so I was like, well, rather than mess around, I'm gonna pit because I knew we were close to stage anyway. I pit, so I flipped the stage a little bit. I had like about a minute and 20 seconds of damage that I got repaired, and then came out, started 4th, and I had Bloodworth in front of me. And then I look in my mirror and I got Meacham right behind me. Him and we've been racing together for a few years, and so I trust him to push me. Once Bloodworth jumped down, I mean, it was smooth sailing from there. I knew he wasn't going to leave me unless he had a massive run before the end of the stage.
Yeah, I got to give you and Meacham props here. I was talking about it on the broadcast here. You two are working well together up front. We saw K&W teammates up front earlier on in the race, and they actually end up taking each other out. So you and Meacham do a great job of working together and making sure that both of you guys make it towards the end of the stage, and it pays off for you here. So now we find ourselves about middle of the pack. No more scheduled cautions up to this point. What's the plan here for you and Meacham to try to stay clean and stay to the end and try to get you a win here at the end?
I think the best bet for us right now is just ride around, try to avoid the calamity. We noticed a few drivers we feel like we can trust. Not going to name names, but we noticed a few that we don't think we can trust either. As far as the two of us are concerned, we're going to try to make ourselves have some clean Toyotas up at the front here at the end, and hopefully we can come away with a win. That'd be good if we can get a 1-2 for the two of us either way. So
yeah, absolutely. Playoffs are here, and it's go time now. As I told Meacham, the pushes are going to get harder, the side drafts are going to get tighter, and the patience is going to get lower. But nonetheless, man, congrats on stage number 2. I'll get you back with your team, and good luck here for the end of the race.
Thanks, Bryce.
There you go. That was your stage number 2 winner, Matthew Chase. And now the field cycles out again. K&W teammates making their ways back up to the front. We got Chris Weiniger up there with Mike Kufel and Patrick Camburn and Travis George. So that top line stacked with teammates there. I believe Patrick is with them. Let me confirm. I get him confused, and he is. Yeah, so 4 K&W Motorsports teammates on the top line. We'll see how good of a restart they can get here. That's going to make that bottom line have to work just a little bit harder, but I know they can get it done. Bryce Tucker's up there with Randy Cornwell and Kenan Cook, so a lot of things can happen here, and we've seen a few accidents already. Anything can happen. Lights are off on the pace car. He's going to be making his way down pit road. You see on the track map as well, KT may be trying to fix some damage. He's going to be off the pack here, and he's not going to make the draft. He's going to need another yellow to get back in with the field. But green light off here, and there we go. You mentioned it, the top line going to be strong. I would have to imagine there was a countdown with that restart. Those top 4 trucks looking to make a very hard push here towards the front. We'll see if those two elect to try to go down and get clear here. I know they would all 4 like to stay in a row, but they can get 2 down here on the bottom and try to control the race. And they're pushing hard and pushing fast. Travis George with a very, very ambitious self-clear, but that's going to get those K&W guys down to the bottom. And as I mentioned, these K&W drivers are aggressive, and I know eventually that's going to come to bite them. If I'm Bryce Tucker there and somebody makes that move on me again, I might not lift. So we'll see if that aggressive driving is going to help these guys and get to the end. I mean, super speedway races, you got to make friends because there's a very high possibility that your teammates might not be there at the end. So if they keep making those moves, they might have to pay for it a little bit later on here. looks like a majority of the field looking to go single file. We saw David Meacham trying to make a run on that top line there. He's got Bobby Grady, Sean Wilder, and teammates Matthew Chase and Zachary Tyler on that line as well. So if they can get hooked up, they can try to make a surge, but that's not going to help. We see a couple cars moving down to the bottom, so that's going to hurt their momentum. We cycle back up. And I think it's now time that we crank it on up here. There you go. There was our Crank It Up, sponsored by me. And one thing I want to point out, I mean, again, not to be critical, but these K&W guys are hooked up on the bottom, but it almost looks like they're trying to do a little bit too much as far as they've got the right game plan, but see a lot of movement out of those trucks, and it's really killing their momentum at times and really getting everybody out of shape. And we've seen it just almost a couple more bumper hooks. These guys got to start being careful because we've already seen their incident there at the end of stage one. Bottom line getting closer, and we see the 93 of Thomas Long getting a little squirrely, able to hold on to it, corrects it. We stay green. 25 to go. These K&W Motorsports guys again holding strong there on the bottom. Top line's going to need to get a little bit more organized, though, if they want to have anything for these K&W Motorsports guys. Teamwork's so important here at these super speedways. We're going to continue to inch closer and closer to our pit window. These pit stops on the super speedways are very important. And that's what I'm talking about right there. Patrick gets shuffled out of line, and even that is going to kill momentum. So if this top line does get hooked up, a couple more mistakes like that, and that's going to cycle those guys towards the front. These guys up front got to be careful. And I wonder if that self-hook is in these guys' minds from earlier on in the race. Up right now, a lot tighter than everybody else on the track, so that's proven why they're able to hold on to control here. I'd like to see this top line side draft just a little bit more, especially in the corners, to try to help. When you side draft and you go tight here on the top, you do a couple things. Obviously, like I said, you side draft, and what that does is that packs that air onto that rear lip there on the back of these trucks and really puts more drag on the truck and helps slow it down. But another thing you do when you pinch the guys on the bottom off is you really tighten up the exit here on the corner, and that again is another thing that helps slow and kill down the momentum in the bottom line. And we're not really seeing them utilizing it too much. I mean, a lot of these guys, I mean, they're kind of getting a little bit close to them on the straightaway, but they really need to do it in their corner and really pinch off that exit, or they're not going to make up a whole lot of ground doing so. Again, that top line is not able to get the momentum they need. And here we see KT McCann gonna go yet another lap down. Gets that damage fixed and is unable to catch the field. That top line, like I said, they really got to figure something out here. I don't know if they need to try to cycle somebody else in front of Cornwell or just get more aggressive with the bumper or what they're doing right now is not working. And especially too, again, the more laps we turn, the closer we're going to get to that pit window, and you don't want to have to pit from the top line or give a lot of time you don't want to have to fall back to the tail end of this line to get down pit road. So they need to make a move, and they need to make it quick. 20 to go as we cross the line here, so we've still got a decent amount of time left in this race, but these guys are going to have to start making a move now. They're basically telling these guys up front that they control the race and they're perfectly okay with it. So they need to start doing something here quick, or they're going to be in a bad spot as the race goes on. Bottom line getting a little squirrely, but again, these top four trucks, K&W, able to just hold tight. I mean, we haven't really seen Cornwell get past George. I mean, he's there at Camber now, the third truck, but Sean Happel laying off of Andre, who's laying off of Dustin. I mean, these guys really need to get hooked up like these K&W guys, or they're just going to keep stalling that run every single time. Got to keep that energy and that momentum moving forward. Try to help generate something here. And yeah, we see Sean Happel bailing on that top line. follow his teammate down there as well. Up in front of his teammate, excuse me. So that top line is going to lose a lot of time here. And they're basically going to have to start that run all over. Oh, Mike phasing through the 53. Yeah, that's really going to check up that bottom line. That's going to allow Cornwell. And this is where Cornwell needs to be aggressive with the side drafts right here. This is the furthest up he's gotten on the bottom line all night since he's been up here. He really needs to side draft that bottom line to help squeeze their exit and try to capitalize and hop in front of this team, but he doesn't do it. And again, Bloodworth lays off of him. These guys have got to figure this out here soon, or they're just going to be trapped on that outside line. And again, the more laps that end up being ticked off here, what's going to happen is these guys here on the bottom, they're going to fight for their team to win. I mean, if two guys hop up from the bottom, they're going to control both lanes, and it's going to take a run to the third line for anybody to do anything about it, and you're not going to have the momentum at that point. And there we go. We see more guys electing to hop down on that bottom and bail on the top, and I wonder if that's due to that pit window that we mentioned before. And you've heard us talk about it here and throughout all the different broadcasts and podcasts of the High Velocity Racing Network. The races are won and lost here on pit road, so we'll see what happens here. I mean, we'll see if any of these K&W guys make any mistakes, or maybe somebody capitalizes. And as we talk about mistakes, Dustin Bloodworth gets shuffled out, able to come back on track safely. I would imagine we're anywhere between probably 2 to 5 laps before we're in our pit window and guys start coming down pit road. Even this top four is starting to break away just a little bit even from the bottom line. I don't know if we had a check up in the field or what, but bottom line really separated now. I think Cornwell going to hop up in front of his teammate KT, who is a couple laps down. Here we go. These K&W teammates are going to be pitting together. Having quite a few takers from the back of the pack as well. That cycles Randy Cornwell to the net lead here. Oh, we see 2 cars spinning on pit road, but they're on pit road, so we should stay green. You see the leaders now on your screen. The 22, the red circle with the green outline, that is your race leader as of right now. You see 3 of the K&W teammates coming out. It looks like Chris may have had a penalty because he is still there on pit road. And there we go. We got the rest of our takers now. Aaron Creighton stays out for this moment in time. See the leaders coming up on these guys now. So this, once Aaron Creighton pits, this should be your race for the net lead. See these guys coming off pit road now, but they're going to get absolutely driven by here. So it looks like these K&W guys have the strategy here for now. I mean, Sean Wilder is the closest one in front of him, but those guys are going to roll. And one thing that's really going to hurt this second group that pit here is how separated they are off pit road. I mean, there's some pretty big gaps in between these guys. see how Chris all by himself, so he makes a mistake on pit road, I believe, and now we've got 4 trucks: Mike Kufel, Patrick Camburn, Matthew Chase, and Zachary Tyler. So we got 2 groups of teammates here. Zachary Tyler and Matthew Chase are teammates, as well as Camburn and Kufel. It's 13 to go here. Take a look at this pack here, and I mean they're not too far off if they can stay together, stay in line. They can catch this pack. Zachary Tyler getting a little squirrely. He needs to try to hold on to this group here. You see KT pulling Sean Wilder to the field as well, and again KT a lap down, so he's going to go try to get to the front of this thing and get him one step closer. He's 2 laps down, so if he can get himself past Mike and a caution comes out here, he might be the lucky dog, and that's, I guarantee you, what he's trying to shoot for right now. Sean is dangerously close to not holding on here, because once Andre gets closer, it's going to pull him around even quicker. And again, Sean is very close, but I believe he should still have it here. Yeah, he's 190. Yeah, he's there. He's got it. And there we go. We're starting to see a little bit of movement. KT looking to pull his teammate around, the number 22, Randy Cornwell. Again, KT wants to get to the front of this pack for that lucky dog chance, and Cornwell, he's been fighting with Sean Happick all season long for this regular season championship. Sean Happick able to get the better of him in that, but Randy Cornwell says, I'm still here to play. 11 to go this time by. We'll be coming to 10 when we cross the line. And you can see it, the intensity already starting to pick up. Guys are making moves. We've got 2 drivers again, Mike Kufel and Patrick Camburn, teammates controlling that bottom line. Zachary Tyler and Matthew Chase, teammates as well. So 2 groups of 2, and then you got another set of 2 behind them. We see one wrecking off track. Green flag stays in the air for now. Andre Carvalho, Sean Happick, and even the 4, Dustin Bloodworth. So those guys have the most team members in this group right now. See if they're able to do anything with it. We're going to be coming up on some off-pace lap cars here. See if that shakes up the field in any way. We saw a little bit of calamity with some lap cars earlier on in the race. And Sean's got to try to put himself in a better position here. It looks like he's sagging off just a little bit in case something happens, and it may not be a bad call, but the further away he is from this pack, the more work he's going to have to do to try to get to the front of it when it's time to go. You see Patrick getting a little bit squirrely behind Mike Kufel. Everybody's moving. Randy Cornwell pushing KT McCann hard up front. 9 to go this time by. Patrick getting a little loose there. That's going to check up that bottom line. You see Chase lays off from there, doesn't give him the bump. Chase looking low though, letting him know, hey, I'm here too. We got to go. And I fear we're at that same spot we were at earlier, where Cornwell's been pushing KT and Cameron's been pushing Mike for so long that they're probably teetering right there on the edge of their temps. So, you know, if one of these guys from the back, you know, step out, maybe make it 3 wide and get a good push, they might be able to get their way towards the front of this pack. Eight to go here in our first chase/playoff race of the season. Looks like we got about 12 cars in this pack. Only 9 for position though. You see that next pack, you see it on the scoring pylon there, the 13 of David Meacham. That second pack there, you see him going into turn 3 now. They're 7 seconds off this pack, and that gap is continuing to increase. Seven to go this time by. That bottom line looking strong. Matthew Chase is tired of it. He wants to make a move and put some pressure on our front 2 guys. So that should stall out the bottom here just a little bit as well. Matthew Chase getting a huge push from KT down the backstretch. Chase not able to clear him just yet. Again, I'd like to see the third car on that outside line get closer. We've seen it time and time again here tonight. We see the front 2 cars in the top line pushing hard, but everybody else behind them being a little bit tentative, and that's what's causing that top line to stall. They really got to get aggressive with these pushes here down the stretch to try to make their way towards the front. And we see it now. Matthew Chase gets the edge on Mike Kufel in the corner. We'll see if he can carry that run onto the backstretch. Sean Happick and Dustin Bloodworth looking to make it 3. Cornwell thinking about it. Chase does get the edge on Kufel. Not quite clear, though. Can't make the move down. So close to clearing, but again, Cornwell just got to get tighter on McCann if they want to make this run. It looks like they are clear now. Chase, though, he can't clear just yet. Too much of a gap. He needs to clear. Time it perfectly. And it looks like he does. So into the corner, hops down in front of the run. Matthew Chase is going to cycle to the lead. KT is going to trap the K&W guys here on the bottom. Everybody's spreading out now. Mike and Camberton make the move on Matthew Chase, but that puts a teammate behind Matthew Chase as well. Mike trying to get control of this race again. This is where we're going to start seeing some aggressive moves. We're going to have 4 to go this time by, and again, Mike has been aggressive on these super speedways, and it has often not paid off for him. We'll see if he can try to rewrite history, try to make up for all the woes he's had at the super speedways to this point, and stamp his name on the win column here. A little bit of a close side draft. Everybody gets squirrely. Mike and Camberton losing some momentum now. Bottom line starting to roll once again. Everybody spreading out here. Bloodworth and Happick searching, KT searching, Wilder searching. Everybody just trying to find where the run is going to be. 3 to go this time by when these guys cross the line. And as I mentioned it earlier at the midway through the broadcast here, these pushes are about to get harder. The side drafts are going to get closer, and patience is going to be gone out the window. Guys are going to be looking for every ounce of real estate they can get here on the track. Cornwell and KT looking to go 3 wide. Sean and Bloodworth now trying to look towards the middle, but they got to get through the K&W guys to get there. Oh no! Trouble! Patrick Camberton. We talked about it. No, Sean Happick gets caught up in it as well. Patrick Camberton blows the engine, pushing teammate Mike Kufel towards the front, and I had talked about it all night long. So important for these guys to manage their temps, and we see it come into play now. That leaves Mike up front with no help. I know Sean was caught up in that as well. We'll see where iRacing elects to score him. See if he'll gain any of those positions back. We'll see the motor go now. Contact with the 4. That sends the 84 around, and yeah, that gets Sean collected in it. A little bit of damage for Sean Happick, but he should be okay. No terminal damage, or doesn't look like it. Looks like that damage or that contact he had with the wall kind of net coated itself back out. So this is going to get real interesting. Matthew Chase is going to have a teammate, Zachary Tyler, behind him on this restart. And again, Mike Kufel not going to have very much help up front at all. Again, his teammate Chris, presumably, I believe, made that mistake on pit road there, so that put him a lap down. We'll see. He might be the first car scored a lap down. Now it looks like maybe Samuel Moser is going to be. Try to keep an eye and see who our lucky dog is going to be. This race just got real interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Playoff implications on the line for a lot of these drivers here. We see the banner on Matthew Chase's car. Mike Kufel has it. Randy Cornwell has that banner. Bloodworth, Meacham, Tucker. I believe Eugene might be in the playoffs as well. I'm not sure. Travis George, Sean Happick, just to name a few. So, again, it's go time now. These runs are going to get bigger. As the time goes on. What other way would this race end other than a green-white checker on the super speedway? It looks like Samuel Moser was your lucky dog, so that puts him back on the lead lap as well. Gonna have a long way to go though, being at the tail end of the longest line. And as I mentioned, this restart going to be important here. Matthew Chase and Zachary Tyler, again, teammates. I can't stress that enough, how important that is down the stretch. See Sean is cycle all the way back to P13. He is going to have some work to do to get his way back up to the front, but we may not be done wrecking, folks. Anything could happen again, I believe. We've got 3 green-white checkers. I thought I heard a couple of these drivers turning their engines off as well under caution. Some of these guys with that pit stop, they may have tried to cut it close, and if we go a green-white checkered to, some of these guys might be in some trouble as well. lights off on the pace car. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, green, white, checkered time. Overtime racing here in our first race of the Chase High Velocity Racing League. Wouldn't have it any other way. Some of these drivers might, but I wouldn't. It's been a fun race to call up here by myself in the booth. Pace car is off. You see the 29 already on the bumper of Matthew Chase. Coming up on the Geico restart now. Green flag in the air. You can see the jump those two drivers get. The 29 pushing the 31 out to the lead. Mike going to try to hop in behind him here, and he does. That's going to stall that top line out really big as well. You see already looking to go 3 wide on the top. Zachary Tyler trying to push his teammate Matthew Chase to the point here. Again, Tyler not in the chase, so we'll see if he stays glued, but Mike going to be looking to make the move on the backstretch. Randy Cornwell goes with him. They got to try to do something with this run quick, though. They don't have much health. David Meacham, a teammate as well, 3 deep on the bottom line. So that move, honestly, may not have been the smartest play, because that's going to put 3 teammates there on the bottom. You can see all these guys fanning out behind them, trying to get some clear air. Again, these guys got to keep an eye on the temps, and Bobby Grady goes around. Caution flag in the air once again. Grady up top. Yeah, it looks like Chris might have tried to side draft him back. I didn't really see much movement out of Grady there. I'll take another look at that and make sure. We'll see. I mean, yeah, we see kind of Chris already starting to come up a little bit maybe. Well, Grady comes down. Yeah, I'm actually glad I looked at it. It looks like Grady comes down just a little bit, trying to stay in the wake of the 7 and nowhere to go for Chris. They get hooked up on each other, and that sends Grady around. So here we will have ourselves yet another green, white, checkered. Sean able to make up a little bit of ground. He made up 4 spots on that last start as well. Sean making his way up. We'll run through the top 5. Matthew Chase, Zachary Tyler, Mike Kufel, David Meacham, Randy Cornwell. Screw it. We'll go top 10. Eugene Hawk, Travis George, Kenan Cook, Trey Young, and Sean Happick. Your top 10. I said it just a restart ago. Anything can happen here. And here we see now. Huge development. Oh, brother. I mentioned it. They were saving fuel. Matthew Chase, Zachary Tyler, Mike Kufel, Eugene Hawk down pit road. This changes up everything. You can hear Sean's got his engine off as well. Meacham shutting it off. Cornwell shutting it off. Oh, man. I said it. I said it before we took the white flag. These green-white checkers may be an issue, and we see it there. Several drivers from the front having to make that stop down pit road. How many more laps or how many green-white checkers these guys up front have in them? And we were so close to the white flag. stress it enough, ladies and gentlemen. The first chase race of the season, and it is coming down to the wire. These guys in the trucks have been battling 13 weeks of racing, and the first race of the chase comes down to this green, white checkered. We've got 2 more attempts here. I can't believe it. I mean, I know I mentioned it, but I didn't think that it would actually be this much of a factor. I mean, again, just for reference, I mean, Sean Happick has scored 9th or 10th. He's in 4th, so that's what, 5 cars that were up front that had control of this race, and that caution comes out. And now, look at you, Matthew Chase, for example, our race leader. He scored 17th. Huge loss for him. Zachary Tyler as well, Mike Kufel. I mean, those guys hate to see it. They're definitely going to need a big wreck to get their way back up there towards the front. David Meacham's had a solid run, as has Sean Happick. Brandon Cornwell's been up there all night. Kenan Cook had a quiet night, but he's up there. Ian Fry as well. We've seen him lingering in the background. Trey Young. Andre Carvalho's been a top 10 truck all night. Wow, folks, that's all I can say. Let's get some predictions there in the chat. Who you want to win, who you think's going to win here on this maybe potentially last green white checkered here. Been a fun one to call, and again, it could come down to this. Pace car off. I believe Cornwell might be the control car, but it could be Meacham as well. I mean, I guess that really doesn't provide much insight at all, but I would assume it's Meacham based off of he's got the edge over Cornwell up top. So top line going to be looking to get a strong start here. And that they do. Sean Happick pushing David Meacham out front. Not quite clear, though. Looks like they're going to stay together, and now they clear to the bottom. So David Meacham clears with Sean Happick, but immediately Randy Cornwell goes up top. He has no help, thinks better of it. Kenan Cook gets to the rear bumper of him now. These front 8 or 9 trucks lined up single file, but I would imagine we see a move, and here it is, 3 wide in the back. Bobby Grady involved in it again. The 86 going to be turned. That's Jason Arbel, and the caution flag comes out once again. I don't know if Grady had damage there or what. I mean, getting loose on a straightaway on a super speedway. I mean, we see that truck beat up, but yeah, Grady just loses it off the corner by himself. Got to imagine that's from damage. We'll see if this shakes things up once again. You hear it. Meacham's got his engine off. This guy's catching the field now. Makes me wonder how close they are, though, because they still haven't caught the pace car, so they got to be cutting it close. Meacham, he veers off. Sean Happick stays out. And this is the third and final time, I believe, trying to get confirmation on that now. All right, sorry about that, folks. Getting confirmation, and yes, this will be the third and final green, white, checkered here for the race. So how this will work for you folks at home, we will take the green flag. If the yellow comes out before the leaders take the yellow flag, the race will be official right then at the time of caution. If these leaders, however, do take the white flag, they will be racing it out, and the winner will be determined at the start-finish line because they will make one more lap at that point. Anything can happen here. We know Cornwell's not afraid to make moves. He's been looking for them all night. Happick trying to cement his name here in the chase. Regular season points champion, now looking to take the first race of the playoffs. Again, I want to reiterate that one more time. If the yellow comes out before the drivers take the white flag, the race will be official right there. If these drivers take the white flag and the caution comes out after they take the white flag, they will be racing around and finishing that final lap, and whoever gets it at the start-finish line will win the race. We've seen the bottom line be the stronger line on the restarts. Typically, we'll see how that holds true here. Once again, you can see these drivers really trying to save as much fuel as they possibly can. We're 4 wide under caution here. Really need these guys to get it together. We don't want to have to push this one more lap, so looks like everybody able to get lined up. Really excited to see what's going to happen here. I know some of these guys are nervous. Off of turn 4 now. That pace car is going to make that famous hard left, as I always say, down pit road. And it officially all comes down to this. Again, 3 words: green, white, checkered, to determine your first winner here in the chase of the High Velocity Racing League Truck Series. Randy Cornwell sagging off just a little bit, trying to get a good time on that restart. Sean Happick has the 34 of Kenan Cook behind him, with Sean's teammate Andre behind him, and Sean gets a great launch, but Randy Cornwell able to hold on to it as well. Not quite clear to hop down to the bottom, though. That bottom line's going to get hooked up. R14 of Key and Fry not on the rear bumper of Randy Cornwell. You see Mike Kufel making a huge jump to the outside. Drag race down the backstretch, excuse me. Cook pushing Sean hard. Cornwell trying to get pushed to the lead. They're 3 wide now. Everybody feels it. It is time to go. Randy Cornwell hops up to the 3rd lane. That's going to lose him a couple spots here off the first move. Travis Giorgio, he's going to be pushing Key and Fry hard. Sean Happick. The caution comes out. Sean Happick, if he makes it to the line, I believe will be your race winner. We'll see how the scoring table scores it, but I believe Sean Happick is your winner. So as long as everybody can get back to the line, it looks like your top 3 trucks here, Sean Happick, Key and Fry, and Kendon Cook.
It says race over.
You got to make it to the finish line. Just letting you know, cross the line.
Yep. I'm good.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. We will see Sean Happick cross the line, and then we will go back and take a look to see what transpired. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is official. Sean Happick, Ian Fry, Kenan Cook, Travis George, and Andre Carvalho going to be your top 10 here, or excuse me, your top 5 at Talladega. Let's rewind this back and take a look and see what happened to cause that yellow flag. We were so close to taking the white flag. And you can see it, a big junk. Pause it right there. I think I saw what happened. '29 goes for a block. The 22 checks up. That sends him flying in front of the field. Multiple cars involved. See if we can't get our drivers here to the waiting room. We will get these drivers in ready for the interviews, and we will be right back. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we have our drivers here in the booth ready to go. We will start off with our third place finisher, the number 34 of Kendon Cook. A relatively quiet night, but you lingered around the top 10, top 5 at most of the night. How does it feel to get a win, man? There was a lot of chaos there at the end with the green, white checkers and the fuel strategy, but able to get yourself on the podium, man. Talk to us. How does it feel?
Oh man, I can barely breathe. This is my first podium ever in any sort of race in iRacing. I think my closest I've got was like maybe P4. So pretty high heart rate right now.
Oh, absolutely. Especially at a track like Talladega where everything is moving and it happening so fast. And again, you're able to get it done, man. I mean, talk to us. What are some key moments that you had throughout this race to get you in position to win this thing and, at least get you on the podium?
Oh man. So most of my strategy is really just try to race as clean as I can. Try to just kind of just you're not going to win the race at the start. Just kind of run a Sunday drive, try to watch fuel and things like that. I got through that first giant big one somehow without any incidents, so that set me up for the front. And then my group, my teammates and I, we decided to pit in that second pack during that green-white, or not the green-white checker, that green flag pit, and saving the fuel for those extra few laps. So trying to save fuel and cautions when you can. I think I might have had one lap left by the end of that third green-white. So yeah, mainly trying to drive as clean as possible, save fuel, and hope you get through.
Yeah, and it all works out for you. Again, a couple drivers on the unfortunate end of some green-white checkers. We saw a good handful of leaders there at the beginning have to pit, and like you said, you were able to pit with the second group, stretch at that extra lap, and that may have made the difference. So congrats to you on the P3. Congrats to you on your first podium. And before we let you go, man, the floor is yours. Who do you want to shout out, I think?
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for running this league. It's been great. All my compliments. Can't complain. Want to thank my teammates, Kian and Trey. All of us were communicating like crazy, trying to keep fuel and try to stay together, help each other out. Our sponsor for our team, Bully Dog Coffee, they've been great for us. Good long-time sponsor for me and our team. Can't wait to race the next one.
Absolutely. Well, again, congrats to you, Ken Cook, P3 here at Talladega. Now we bring in his teammate, the number 14, Kian Fry. We're just talking with your teammate there. You guys are able to get it done and get on the podium, man. How does it feel to be on the podium in such an important race? Even if you may not be in the playoffs, still, this is a race that's going to go down in the history book. So talk to us. How does it feel?
I mean, it feels great, honestly. Like, at least for me, it just came down to fuel saving. We pitted a little late on those green flag stops because we thought there was going to be at least one caution, so maybe it would give us a little bit of an advantage. So after we got split up, and at the end there, I mean, on the last lap coming down the front, or second to last lap coming down the front stretch, the back stretch, Randy left it underneath open. It might have been a bit of a squeeze on my part, but honestly, Travis, number 16, was coming up below me, and I didn't want to let the inside go to somebody else. So I just hugged the inside, and Randy went high, and next thing I know, I'm running right next to Sean for the win. I honestly didn't really expect it. I thought I was going to be wrecked out within the first half of this race, knowing how Talladega is, but coming away with a podium, especially right next to my teammate, I'm not going to forget this. It's my first podium of the season. Maybe a little too late, but it's still a great finish regardless.
Yeah, and some would say better late than never. Congratulations to you again. Teammates finishing second and third here. Before we let you go, anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, I mean, the Kendon, Trey, my teammates, any of my friends and family who are watching, and Tony Stewart, my inspiration to do all this in the first place. Yeah, I mean, it's still just I'm still getting over the shock of finishing so high. I mean, I haven't, this is my best finish since Daytona. I didn't think it would come this late in the season. I thought everyone would have it packed down by now, but I mean, I'll take the small wins where I can get them. And today, I finished right next to the points leader. That's a win in my book.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Congratulations to you, P2 here, our first round of the chase. That's your second place finisher, number 14, Akian Fry. Now we bring in our race and points leader, the 52 of Sean Happick. A lot of drama there at the end. I had mentioned it before we got to the green white checkers that it looked like a couple guys were shutting their trucks off, and we see, I think it was like the top 5 or 6 guys have to pit after that first green white checkered, and you're able to be the beneficiary of it, man. Talk to us. You had a pretty eventful night, caught up in some drama, but you're able to get it done.
Yeah, sometimes accidents work out. I really didn't want to take a full 11.2 fuel load on our green flag stop. I was going to try to knock it down to 10, whatever. But I just missed clicking it, and I actually got an extra gallon and a half, and that's probably what did it right there. So I'll take it. I was shutting it off. I had about 2.2, 2.4 left when we hit the green. So
Yeah,
it's
like you said, maybe a potential mistake that turns out in your favor. And I had mentioned about that earlier as well. Your teammate gets wrecked out there at the end of stage 1, and he gets the front row at the beginning of stage 2. So, yeah, I mean, just talk to us, man. I mean, again, you had an up and down night, got involved in a couple wrecks. I mean, what was going through your mind there when we were coming there towards the end of the race when I believe it was Patrick was pushing his teammate Mike, and he blows up in the middle of the field and you get caught up in it? What was going through your mind at that moment in time? Were you just like dumbfounded at the amount of luck you didn't have, or I mean, what was going through your mind at that moment?
I'm used to that on speedways. Really, like I said, I was trying to come in and do all or nothing. Really, me and Bloodworth and my other teammate Andre, we were there in the back of that group, and man, we just couldn't find any openings. It was a little frustrating. I think we had like 5 left, and we kept trying to make some moves, and we just couldn't get any good runs. So then the third line opened up, so we took in the middle, and I'm sure maybe I would have finished 8th or something really. And then yeah, his motor blew up. I think he was like right in front of me. It was just smoke and him slowing down about 15 miles an hour right in front of me. So wasn't nothing we can do there. Only reason I worked my way up is because that extra load of fuel I got, really.
Yeah, it looks like William Kerr maybe have thrown that rabbit's foot out the window and it landed in your truck and you're able to get it done. So I believe a pretty decent points day for you. Again, you get the win here, the first race of the chase, setting the tone, and that's your second win here of the season. Is there any other tracks you've got marked on the schedule that you're looking to make some waves at?
No, I don't think I really like any of these coming up in the chase. I don't know who the hell made this schedule.
Yeah, I don't know either. That guy must suck pretty bad. But nonetheless, man, before we let you on out of here, talk to us, man. Go ahead. Who do you want to shout out? Who do you want to thank for getting it done tonight?
Well, my teammates first and foremost. I mean, we had some, decent strategy, but there was a lot of guys that were quick out there. Chris and Mike and Travis and Camper, and they were top 4 there, man. I thought they had it locked up. They were running real good, but I want to thank my teammates there, and then Kenan there for giving me some good pushes there at the end. He was really able to give me that little boost that I need, and appreciate all the work y'all do up there, man.
Yeah, absolutely. There he goes, your race winner, the number 52 of Sean Happick, getting it done once again here in high velocity racing. 2-time winner, regular season champion, and now presumably your points leader going into the next race of the chase. We've talked to your top 3. We'll go ahead and round out the top of the field here. Andre Carvalho finishing P4, Zachary Tyler P5, Sean Wilder P6, followed by David Meacham, who had a solid run here. He finished 7th place. Ed Nava, a quiet top 8, but nonetheless, he gets it done, followed by Trey Young and Jason Arbel. Thomas Long, Ryan Seabolt, Matthew Chase, Eugene Hawk, and Travis George rounding out your top 15, followed by Randy Cornwell, Samuel Moser, Mike Kufel. Dustin Bloodworth and Bryce Tucker finish out your top 20. Bobby Grady finishes 21st. We saw a mistake there on pit road, I believe, from Chris Weiniger. That puts him 2 laps down, finishing at 22nd. KT and P23. Brandon Dayhoff 24th. Andy Berry 25th. Aaron Creighton 26th, followed by Greg Moss and Brad Dewar for 27th and 28th. Kyle Rogers P29, Patrick Camburn 30th, Josh Parker 31st, and Daniel Quinn rounds out the field in 32nd place. That rounds out the first race here in the High Velocity Racing League Network race for the chase here in the Truck Series. We got some more Super Speedway action coming at you tomorrow in the Xfinity car, so stay tuned, and we will see you guys there. Thank you for tuning in and showing love for your favorite drivers, friends, and family. And again, we will see you tomorrow for some more Super